We have reached the last new book releases of March already. These are going to be the books releasing on the 24th. As usual, we will have each genre timestamped so you can click around to whichever is your favorite. I'm Morgan. If this is your first time here, I will mispronounce things, though I think we're mostly okay on some of these. I probably just jinxed myself now. We'll go ahead and get started, and I hope you find one that you want to pick up. This week, we are diving into sci-fi first, with Dissolution by Nicholas Binge. Maggie Webb has lived the last decade caring for her elderly husband Stanley, as memory loss gradually erases all the beautiful moments they created together. It's the loneliest she's ever felt in her life. When a mysterious stranger named Hassan appears at her door, he reveals a shocking truth. Stanley isn't losing his memories. Someone is actively removing them to hide a long-buried secret from coming to light. If Maggie does what she's told, she can reverse it. She can get her husband back. Led by Hassan and his technical marvels, Maggie breaks into her husband's mind, probing the depths of his memories in an effort to save him. Sorry, one of the cables kept bumping my arm and it was distracting. Also, I really hope that the noise canceling is canceling out the sound of that fan in the PC, because the bottom fan seems to be dying, and so it's very loud. Moving on though, our other sci-fi... we'll call it sci-fi. It could still go very comfortably in fiction. But that's just my opinion. When the Moon Hits Your Eye by John Scalzi. The moon is turned into cheese. Now humanity has to deal with it. Astronauts and billionaires, comedians and bank executives, professors and presidents, teenagers and terminal patients at the end of their lives. Over the length of an entire lunar cycle, each get their moment in this moonlight. To panic, to plan, to wonder, and to pray. To laugh and to grieve. In a kaleidoscopic novel that goes all the places you'd expect and then so many places you wouldn't. Every chapter will be from a different character. So it was trying to give you that a little bit, and then I finally realized why I thought this was humorous, besides the fact that most of Scalzi's work it does have that odd humor to it. Sure, it's not the humor that everybody likes, but it normally does have this humorous bent. And they even tagged it as humorous fiction. It's not funny. It's not funny at all. I find no humor in it. If you do, please let me know. Moving on into fantasy, our first one up is a sequel. This is Tideborn by Eliza Chan. The first book, Fathom Folk, came out last year, and it says, "Welcome to Tankawi, a shining pearl of human civilization, a safe haven for those fleeing civil unrest," or at least that's how it first appears. But the semi-flooded city, humans are quite literally on top, peering down from the shining towers and aerial walkways on the Fathom Folk, sirens, sea witches, kelpies, and kappas, who live in the polluted waters below. For half-siren Mira, promotion to captain of the border guard means an opportunity to help her downtrodden people. But if earning the trust and respect of her human colleagues wasn't hard enough, everything Mira has worked towards is put in jeopardy when Nami, a know-it-all water dragon and Fathom Folk princess, is exiled to the city under Mira's watch. When extremists sabotage a city festival, violence erupts, as does the clampdown on the Fathom Folk rights. Both Nami and Mira must decide if the cost of change is worth paying, or if Tankawi should be left to drown. And there's something about a tsunami in either the first book or the start of the second book. That's all. I really looked at the description for the second one because I still want to read Fathom Folk, even though I know it received some mixed reviews. So I'll get around to it, and I don't want to read the description to the second one yet. Then we have one that's quite different sounding, at least from the last one, kind of. The Serpent Called Mercy by Roanne Lau. Lifelet and her only friend Diesel are shackled to a life of debt and poverty that she fears they will never escape. Desperate for money, they sign up as conquistadors, arena combatants who fight sun-cursed beasts in the seedy underworld of the city. Matchmaster Dos Leos is initially enamored with Diesel's brawling reputation, but after seeing Lifelet lead the pair to triumph with her quick cunning, he takes her under his wing, scorning Diesel. Ambition takes root in Lifelet's heart as the life of fame and wealth unfolds in her imagination. But Lifelet isn't the only one out for coin and glory, and she soon finds herself playing an entirely different game, a game of politics and deception. So you're following these two close friends as they try to rise out of poverty and lots of layers of underground politics. Then we're moving into YA, and the first one up is not exactly dark academia, but magical school. Lovely, Dark and Deep by Eliza A. Bonin. Hidden off the coast of Washington, veiled in mist, there is an island that does not appear on any map, and on that island is Ellery West. The acclaimed school for magic has always been home to her Faith. After an international move and a childhood spent adjusting to a new culture and a new language, Faith feels like Ellery is the only place she can be herself. That is, until Faith and another student walk into the forest, and only Faith walks out. Marked with a red stripe across her uniform that designates all students deemed too dangerous to attend regular classes, Faith becomes a social pariah, an exile of Ellery West, but she only has to keep her head down for a little while until she can graduate. Unfortunately, magic seems to be seeping out of the forest, and mysterious things are happening around school. Then we have the conclusion of the Forest Grimm duology, The Deathly Grimm by Catherine Purdy. This one we are following Clara and Axel, well, just Clara, she's the main character, but her and her friend Axel have entered into the Forest Grimm that surround their village that used to be a prosperous place and magic, until a curse befell the village after someone used the magic to kill someone else, and now the forest takes people. Clara, though, has ventured into the forest to save her mother in the curse. In the first book, they do go through some very big trials, only to find out, though, that that was not the big bad that was actually plaguing the village. It was only part of it. And now they must join together and enter the forest again, relying only on each other. It goes over a lot of your Grimm fairy tales in a different twist. Our last YA is a lyrical tale of what it means to be growing up as a girl through a magical realism lens. This is I Am the Swarm by Haley Chewins. As far back as anyone can remember, the women of the Strand family have been magical. Their gifts manifest when they each turn 15, always in different ways, but Nell Strand knows that her family's magic is a curse. When Nell's own magic arrives in the form of ladybugs alighting on the keys of her beloved piano, the first thing she feels is joy. The ladybugs are a piece of her, a harmless and delicate manifestation of her creativity, but soon enough, the rest come. Nell will have to decide just how much of herself she's willing to lock away to stop them, or if she can find the strength to feel no matter the consequences. Because every emotion is bringing a different type of bug, the worst being the wasps. Into romance now, we have Summer in the City by Alex Astor. 27-year-old screenwriter Elle has the chance of a lifetime to write a big-budget movie set in New York City. The only problem, she's had writer's block for months, and her screenplay is due at the end of the summer. In a desperate attempt at inspiration, Elle ends up back in the city she swore she'd never return to, in an apartment she could never afford, floor-to-ceiling windows, skyline views, and a new coffee shop to haunt included. It's the perfect place to write her screenplay, until she realizes her new neighbor is the tech billionaire bachelor, Parker Warren, her stairwell hookup from 2 years ago. One summer, one wall apart, he needs a fake buzzy relationship during his company's precarious acquisition. She needs to write a movie around a list of NYC locations. Both need a break from their unrelenting schedules, and a chance to rediscover the skyscrapers, glimmering, pizza-crusted sunlit charms of the city. So, it's a lovers to enemies to fake dating second chance romance situation. All set over one summer in New York. Then we have a more humorous sounding mystery-ish romance, The Big Fix by Holly James. When bookish Penny Collins reluctantly lets her sister drag her to an estate sale at a neighbor's house, she's hoping for a little diversion rummaging through dusty antiques. Instead, she ends up in a public squabble over candlesticks with the deceased owner's nephew, Anthony, right before a dead body tumbles out of a closet. Penny's plan for the summer involved finalizing tenure at the university where she's a computer sciences professor. Instead, she's suddenly on the run with a man she barely knows. As for Anthony, he has a top-secret occupation as a fixer, but a recent fix went dangerously awry, and now he and Penny are dodging both a ruthless billionaire and the FBI. And it'll take all of Penny's plentiful savvy and common sense, in addition to Anthony's particular set of skills, to survive long enough to see her for her to see the next semester. It sounds very, very funny and interesting, and I could not speak very well through most of that description, though. I'm very sorry. Moving along with thrillers, we have Saltwater by Katie Hayes. In 1992, Sarah Lingate was found dead below the cliffs of Capri, leaving behind her 3-year-old daughter, Helen. Despite suspicions that the old money Lingates are involved, Sarah's death is ruled an accident, and every year the family returns to prove it's true. But on the 30th anniversary of Sarah's death, the Lingates arrived at the villa to find a surprise waiting for them: the necklace Sarah was wearing the night she died. Haunted by the specter of that night, the legendary Lingate family unity is pushed to the breaking point, and Helen seizes the opportunity. Enlisting the help of Laura Moreno, a family assistant, the two plot their escape from Helen's paranoid, insular family. As long-hidden secrets about that night boil to the surface, one thing becomes clear: not everyone will leave the island alive. And not everyone is trustworthy, including those closest to her. Well, especially those closest to her, because it's her family. And maybe the assistant isn't what she seems. Then we have Gothic Town by Emily Carpenter. The email that lands in Billy Hope's inbox seems like a gift from the universe. For $100, she can purchase a spacious Victorian home in Juliana, Georgia, a small town eager to boost its economy in the wake of the pandemic. She can leave behind her cramped New York City rental and the painful memories of shuttering her once thriving restaurant and start over with her husband and daughter. Plus, she'll get a business grant to open a new restaurant in the charming Riverside community laden with opportunity. It seems like a dream come true, or a devil's bargain. A few phone calls and one hurried visit later, Billy, Peter, and 6-year-old Meredith are officially part of the Juliana Initiative. The town is everything promised, 2 hours northwest of Atlanta, but a world away from city living, a gentle jewel with weather as warm as its people. Between settling into their lavish home and starting her new restaurant, Billy is busy enough to dismiss any troubling signs. Because, of course, the small town is not going to be everything it seems in a thriller book, and warm weather, it only depends on the season. 58 degrees today. Not even 58. I think it's 54. That's all the books on my list for this week. Maybe you will find one that you want to pick up, or if you know of any other books coming out that you want to let people know about, feel free to drop them in the comments down below. I hope you enjoyed this video, you're finding something great to read today, and I'll see you in the next one.